major project on sales prediction using multiple linear regression. The purpose of this project is to develop a multiple linear regression model that predicts the sales revenue based on the advertising expenditure across the different media channels that are TV, radio, and newspaper. I have used the various tools to make this project that are Python, Pandas, scikit-learn, NumPy, machine learning regression models, and matplotlib. These are used by data scientists, machine learning engineers, researchers, and students to develop, train, test, and analyze machine learning models. First, I have imported all the libraries that are required for data handling, visualization, and modeling. I have imported Pandas, NumPy, CPON, matplotlib for data visualization, scikit-learn for regression model and evaluation. Then I have loaded and inspected all the data. Load the advertising data into Pandas data frame, and to view the first few rows records, I have used this to check the data set size, data types, and ensure that there are no missing values. I have used this info. Next, to visualize the relationships between advertising channels and sales, I have used the scatter plots and pair plots to observe the trends. I'll generate a correlation heat map to identify the strong prediction of sales potential multiplier between the features. Then I have built a multiple regression models estimated coefficients. I have defined here the independent variable and the dependent variable to target the variable. Okay, and then I have trained the model. I have taken LM1 linear regression and I have fit the X and Y. Then I have stored all the features names, get the regression coefficients, creating a dictionary to map each column into its coefficients, and here I have displayed all the coefficients, and here's the output. I have also prepared a heat map. Okay, this shows the prediction between sales and TV, and newspaper and TV and radio and sales. You can see here that there is no much difference between the TV sales and radio and sales. Okay, and then I have choose the feature selection to build and compare the regression models with different combination of features. Here first I have initialize the model. Then I have trained the model on full data set. Then I have predicted the sales using the trained model. Then calculate the R2 score for the model evaluation. Then I have also used the model 2. Here we have only taken the data using the TV and radio in model 1. But in model 2 we have taken data from TV, radio and newspaper, all the 3 items, and we have taken here only the 2 items, that is TV and radio. We can see that here the output is 0.89 something, and here is also in this also the data is 0.89. There is no much difference between both the data, so it is good to go on the model 1 because there is no much difference in the output. Then I have train and test the data set, split the data set into the training and testing sets, train the model on training data set, and evaluate the performing using the data RMSE and R2 score. I have compared the models to decide the feature should be retained. Then I have diagnostic the model, analyze the prediction and residuals, visualize the model performance using diagnostic plots. We can see here that in this data we have a much difference between this black line and the gray line. And now in this data we can see that how near are these two lines. There is no much difference in these two lines. There is no much difference in these two lines. So we can go on this data to make the data more clearful and good estimation. Okay, now we can see the interaction effect versus energy analysis. That is, we can see that there is no much difference between the lines, and this there was a difference in this. We have made the comparison, and we can see that TV and radio advertising, we can go on both only. We are not want to include the third item also. Now we have trained a regression model using these interaction items. Compare the results with previous models. We can compare the results. We can see that before the gray and black line was too much far, and these points also were too far. But in this we can see that these lines are very near, and these points are also plotted on the same line, not very far to that. uh, from this we can understand how advertising channels improves the sales prediction. Okay, and what can I say, that the sales prediction using linear regression is a comprehensive understanding for how machine learning techniques can be applied to solve the real life business problems. The main primary objective was this project was to predict the sales revenue based on the advertising expenditure across the three different media channels: TV, radio, and newspaper, using a multiple regression model. Throughout this project, we followed the complete data science workflow, beginning with the data completion and inspection, followed by the explanatory data analysis, modeling, building, feature selection, and model evaluation and performance, throughout the using interactive features. This project was very effective, and I have learned too many things from this project. I've used the various tools such as Python, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, NumPy, etc. This project was a very interactive. This project shows the interactive feature between the TV, radio advertising that was introduced, demonstrating the combining influential variables through further enhanced predictive performance. This project was really effective, and I have learned too many things from this project. Thank you.